All right, Coach, EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to the Sunshine State in TIAA Bank Field here in Jacksonville. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it, this crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Houston Texans and the Jacksonville Jaguars. The bye weeks are over. It's all about football all the time as we're underway here in Week 13. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback.
Reset. UAT. Check 53.
They'll run for the first time with Johnson. And he'll be upended at the 28-yard line. Just a 3-yard gain there.
When we see those runs to the perimeter, when we see those runs to the edge, we think about big breakers, don't we? In this case, it was a modest gain, but it does open up possibilities here on second down.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. Back to throw, Watson. Going deep here for Still. He's got him in. Complete. Past the 20. Touchdown, Houston. Kenny Stills. His 3rd touchdown now on the year as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. Well, if they didn't get the wake-up call before the game, they got it right now. 2 plays already in the end zone.
I think of it in boxing terms because whether it's a big shot with your first one or a probing one, a little bit of a jab, the second one was the payoff. That was the big one that landed. 1-2, end zone.
This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he is out of bounds here on the return.
At their own 25-yard line.
Set up. 50. Plant. X3. 218. Chopper. Switch. Check 24. Check 24. Snap.
On first down, it's Phillips. And he'll be upended at the 28-yard line. Just a 3-yard gain there.
Defensively here, you're facing a top 5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20. Because to me, that's the magic number. 20 points scored you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
And I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
On 2nd and 7, Minshew. He sets to fire deep. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Pick there by Nick Nelson. And he'll return this ball across midfield to the 47-yard line. And not a good omen there. His first throw of the afternoon intercepted.
And I know what the fans are thinking right now. I hope there's not negative thoughts in his head going forward since that's his first throw of the game. But one of the things I remember about him coming out of school is he's able to wipe things away pretty easily and move on.
A first down carry here for Johnson. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Number 53. Alert. Bound to lose one.
From the 40 now on 2nd down, Watson. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's third down.
And it is true. You can draft the fastest. You can draft the most athletic guys. But if they don't know the art of positioning, sometimes it's all for naught. In this case, in the right spot, help force the incompletion.
Yeah, but had his hands on it for a second. Would have been a tough catch, though. Falls incomplete. A good chance this is 4-down territory if they're unable to convert. But right now looking at a 3rd and 3. From the gun, here's Watson. And he's got the completion to Hopkins. That's good for a Texan first down, a 12-yard pickup. Those are the kinds of plays right there that show you why he's the number 3 man in the NFL in terms of receiving yards.
Also tells you there's a full combination of what he's got going in his game. You name it, from route running to catching the football. That's why he's able to produce those types of numbers.
They'll run on first down. It's Johnson. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
Throwing on 2nd and 8. Watson. It's complete to Hopkins. An excellent pickup of 20 yards. They're going to have to do something with him. He was so sensational last week, over 200 yards. AFC Offensive Player of the Week, what do? You hold him?
That's a good start as long as you can get away with it. Otherwise, just giving up penalties and free plays for the offense. But I think you've got to do a combination of things. Chip it his timing at the line of scrimmage, have extra people in the territory for him. You've got to do everything and change it up from snap to snap.
Check 31, check 31.
Out of the gun, Watson. Under pressure now, Watson, and down he goes.
Well, that was point counterpoint, wasn't it? They decided to throw for it on 1st and goal. Instead, the defense counters with pressure, and the defense wins, getting a big sack.
It's 2nd and goal, but now all the way back at the 14.
What we got?
Watson now to throw. That's Stills bringing it in. And he's able to work it here to the 8-yard line. That will go as a pickup of 7 on the 7th play of the drive. Six plays got him down here. This is play number 7, 3rd and goal. Here's Watson. Screen play, Johnson. They wind up with 6 on the hook up there, but it's not enough. 4th and goal.
They dialed up the screen pass on 3rd down, and for a second it looked like it was all going to come together, and they had a chance to pick up a first down, but the defense got there and finished it off.
Off the left upright, and it caroms away, no good. And this score will stay right where it is. So we would have figured that one to be 3 points in the bank, but this game, can be unpredictable at times.
Yeah, he knew he needed to pull it ever so slightly to get it going in the right direction, but he seemed to put a little too much on it, and from short range, that is a bad miss for an NFL kicker.
The Jacksonville offense set to begin their next drive. And, Charles, if the season ended today, and it's not going to, we still have December left.
More football.
Early in November. But they would be a wild card team, and that's great. They'd be in the playoffs, but they're trying to bump up to be one of those division leaders.
That guarantees you at least one home game in the playoffs, and that's what you're really seeking. But there also isn't much margin for error for this team, right? Because right where they're sitting, a 2-game losing streak could have them out of the playoffs, so they've got to make sure they continue to keep the momentum going.
Absolutely. There's some sharks smelling blood in the water behind them. On second down now, it's Phillips. And he'll get about 3 here as he's out to the 30.
DJ Reader brought him down. Brings up third down.
And how about the dime look here? 6 DBs on 3rd and inches.
Daring them to run the ball.
80 weapon.
Watch the ship. Watch the ship. Hey,
On the spot.
And to give this time to the tailback. And he's going to have the first down yardage to the 35. They get 5 out of that one, and it moves the chains. This running game's so important for them, and they know that. It helped lead them to a victory last week when he was over 100 yards.
Let's face it, it's their identity, and that's what they want to play to. They want to be that team that runs the ball really well each and every week, and right now we're seeing a pretty good pattern of that happening.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he went nowhere. Well, he went backwards, back to the 33. It's a loss of a yard there, and it's 2nd down. Plays like we just saw there, that's why they're up right now. And the defense, they're doing their job.
Yeah, it starts with the guys up front. So when you talk with GMs who are putting together a team, a lot of them say we're going to build from the inside out, because if you control the line of scrimmage, you control the rest of the ball game, and that's what we're seeing here. They're actually playing in the offense's backfield, not necessarily just playing at the line of scrimmage.
watch the slant. He's crashing. He's checking crash.
You draw Corker. Shoot.
On 2nd and 11 now. Minshew, and hit behind the line. He lost the football. It's loose.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back, because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
Set. 70. Indy.
Watch the slant. Watch the slant.
Get it.
Minshew throwing on 3rd down. Well, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more.
That's how we do
Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust and account for that?
But what you're hoping is that you figure out and you see and get a clue that maybe there's going to be some pressure coming at you, and you change the blocking schemes. Maybe you go to max protection. The biggest one is maybe you bring your running back in to try and keep you clean. But in that case, that didn't happen. Zero accountability, and a sack resulted.
6-0 our score after one. The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. And it's only November, but the playoffs, we know how it works. They'll be here before you know it. If it ended today, they would be the #1 seed.
And that's a great spot to be in, but I love the phrase, if it ended today. And I'll guarantee you, that's what they've discussed in their locker room, in their meeting rooms. Yeah, we know where we'd be if it ended today, but we also know it's not ending today.
Right.
So they've got to continue to play the type of ball that put them in the spot where they're #1 in their conference.
So now they'll come up on 2nd and 10, once again from the 28. Throwing again is Watson. Buying time to his left. And he will not throw it away. He goes out of bounds, well shy of the line of scrimmage, so that's a sack. Chalk that up as a 4-yard loss, and now it's 3rd down.
Set. 18. 39. I'm coming.
3rd and long. It's Watson going deep for Hopkins. And unable to connect. Incomplete. I'll give them credit. They took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down.
But one thing's for sure, when you get a big receiver and you trust him downfield, you're going to give him opportunities to go up and get that 50-50 ball.
And he is a darn good big receiver. Unfortunately, that time didn't work out. Nice job defensively.
Get ready.
At their own 22-yard line.
Ready.
Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. And the results for them have not been strong to this point. 2 drives have ended in a turnover and then a punt.
So would it be too snarky for me to say that they've shown improvement? Because you had two drives with turnovers. Now they punted it away, so at least they didn't turn it over. So that's good, right?
You're going to get some angry users reaching out to you on social media.
Well, I don't mean to be. I was actually looking for the positive. Silver lining, you know.
That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves him with a very manageable 2nd and 1.
Pilot, 64, weak. Hey, Haywood. Ready.
Off play action, it's Minshew. Throw left side, complete. It's Carroll. And he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. Touchdown, Jaguars. A big play there. Touchdown number 15 on the year, as his guys can now take the lead with the extra point. Josh Lambo now for the point after. And he knocks it through. And Lambo now, after the touchdown, he'll kick this one away. Fielded about a yard deep. And he's able to get it across the 20, but not by much, as he's marked down at the 21-yard line. The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete. From the 21, it's 2nd and 10.
Number 50, 2 points down, he's coming. Here we go, G. Alert. 53.
To throw again. Watson being chased out left. And he's just going to get rid of this thing. To no one here. He throws it away, and now it's 3rd.
It's nothing like pressure to affect the accuracy and the timing of a guy trying to throw the football. And on that play, they ended up flushing him to his left, contacted him as he's trying to throw the football, and that led to the incompletion.
The Texans on 3rd down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 10. A shotgun snap for Watson. Jaguar pressure and a Jaguar sack. Josh Allen in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year.
That's 3 sacks now, and that's not much of a surprise to me, nor should it be to you. This team, they lead the league in sacks.
Yeah, they do. This is something that we are starting to witness time and time again.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
At their own 34-yard line.
The Jacksonville offense set to begin their next drive. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
Check 25. Hey, check Mike. Smooth. Watch 25.
Ricky. Mike.
Hit it.
On 1st down, it's Phillips. And he'll get this only up to about the 35. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
You don't want none. Pick up the ball. 55 is Mike, guys. 55.
There.
On 2nd and 9, Minshew nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
How many times have we sat with coordinators, and especially the defensive guys, they've talked about big plays, sacks. They often come in bunches. Well, it may not be a bunch here, but that is the 3rd sack of the game for them.
And around sack 3 or 4, I would think it starts to get in the quarterback's head a little bit.
Not just the quarterback, the offensive play caller, the offensive line, knocks people off balance and changes what they normally do.
Double dog.
Out of the gun is Minshew. And that is incomplete. More problems here on 3rd down. They've converted only once so far in this first half.
And you know as well as I do in this league, if you don't win on 3rd down, it makes it hard to win a ball game because then you're relying on your defense, you're relying on your special teams. You've got to get it done with your offensive unit.
And no return here. Where will they spot it? They say just outside the 20-yard line. The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. And they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you called before, realize it hasn't worked so well.
Go to something else.
And maybe you try and find one of those special plays from one of your better players, and maybe try and hit something big and get things going in the excitement area.
On 2nd and 9, Watson going deep here for Stills. Oh, nearly picked. And maybe lucky there. This guy doesn't drop many defensively. 3rd down. What a difference a week makes. Last week he hit on over 80% of his passes. This week he's down under 50%. What do you see as the difference?
Well, I think we're used to seeing a drop. If someone's over 80%, they're not going to hold that number, not in this league. But a drop under 50%, that just tells me that the defense, they spent a lot of extra time on game films and came up with a really good plan to try and chip away at his timing.
The Texans on 3rd down. They've only converted once in 4 tries. This is 3rd and 9. To throw is Watson, operating from the gun. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Yannick Ngakoue in there to get him, and that is now sack number 18 on the season for him. This is away and a very good kick, angled for the sidelines. And the punt over the side in the air, and the spot will be inside the 35. Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. They've got the lead. Last time had to punt it, though. What's the key to this drive?
I think it's leverage.
Leverage.
Big guys up front. You know the motivational speech on the sideline is, guys, give us an opportunity. Protect the passer, create space for our runners, and let's go ahead and get these guys. Low man wins. Let's go do it on this drive.
We'll watch that leverage on this drive. A good run, got 7 on first. Here's 2nd and 3.
Here we go. Hey, orbit.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll get up near the 45. They'll spot it at the 44. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a 1st down.
Offensive linemen love creating space for their guys carrying the ball. But when that guy also breaks tackles and creates extra yardage, they almost feel like he's one of them, and they really embrace him.
You ready?
55. Check, 55. Mike. Watch the curve.
Bravo.
Hey, switch gears.
Fire.
They'll run on 1st down. Phillips. They give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down. A very solid gain on that play.
At their 48-yard line.
The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. A give running right is Armstead. And he goes across midfield and down into Houston territory. Still a couple yards short of the first as the 3-yard gain brings up a 3rd down.
It's a gain of 3. Brings up 3rd and 2.
Set, ready? 10 2 stop.
Eat. You don't want this. Deuce.
He's coming. Breakstone, travel.
Okay, double up. Watch the edge.
That's going to set him back 5 yards. Not ideal there. That delay of game backs them up 5 yards, so now they need 7 yards on third down.
Hey, Charlie.
Mike 41. Hey, here we go. 41 Mike, right here, 41 Mike. It's just me and you. It's just me and you.
Hey, exit.
And now again, the play clock's going to run out on him. And that'll be accepted, of course, and that moves him back 5. After the delay, they're backed up even further for third and long.
High 7.
Minshew sets to throw. That's incomplete, but there is a flag down, so hang on. A big call coming on third down. Thought they were going to force a fourth down. Instead, P.I. gives them the first.
And that's frustrating because you think you've taken them really deep into the count, haven't you? Instead, you've got to start all over. That can really, really be demoralizing.
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10.
Big series right here.
Hey, Foxtrot, get it.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be brought down at the 27-yard line. Tashawn Gibson there on the tackle.
This drive is pretty clear. Almost feels like old school fundamentals, doesn't it? Want to impose their will on the defense. What's that, 5 straight runs?
Yeah, 5 straight carries to start this drive. And like you said, the way it's working, they may just stick with it. From the 27, Minshew. And this one taken in on the right sideline, but not in the field of play. They say it's incomplete. The throw led him a little too far. It brings up third down.
Brings up 3rd and 5.
They come up now 3rd and 5 following the incomplete pass.
Go.
41's the Mike. Check 41. In your face.
Ready.
From the gun, Minshew to throw. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he will be very close to a first down, but I see the closed fist of the referee, and that means 4th down. Now the Texans will use one of their 2 remaining timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. The field goal unit's going to stay put on the sideline. They're going to go on 4th down here.
Ready.
Mike, 55. Right there in the middle, 55.
They'll go with a keeper. And he'll be touched out here, but not before he does pick up the first. They only needed a few inches, and they didn't get much more than that. But by about the width of a shoelace, they convert on 4th down.
1st and 10 at the 21-yard line.
Here we go. 15 line. Hey, Echo.
I'm coming after you. I'm coming after
Yeah.
Now this time he'll look to throw. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. So it goes as a fumble, but the key thing, not a fumble loss.
Yeah, that stat's big, isn't it? I mean, I remember watching teams play. The ball might be on the ground a number of times during the game, but if the other team doesn't get it, that's a huge difference in the ball game. And in this case, they were able to retain possession.
Mike 55. Hey, I'm coming after you. 55.
Throwing on 2nd and long. Minshew. That'll be incomplete with 9 seconds now showing on the clock.
Forced to the ground and incomplete. It's now 3rd down and long.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down.
Check 55 to Mike. Check 55 to Mike. Yeah. You don't want none. Mike 55. Mike 55.
So 3rd and long. Here's Minshew. And he's going to go down. They get to him back at the 40. So a very tight first half. We had to break in a one-point game as we now go downstate to Orlando and check in with Jonathan Coachman with our EA Sports Halftime Report. All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. The Jaguars in possession of the lead, and they will get the football as we are underway in this second half. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Jacksonville offense set to begin their next drive. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking to extend that lead.
And this is where I enjoy talking about one of my favorite subjects, tendency breakers, or counters as I also like to call them. You've done things in a certain way in the first half, and they've had the ability to see what you've done. They're going to make their adjustments. So guess what? You adjust yourself and try and stay ahead of the pace because you are looking for some separation in this ballgame.
The adjustment to the adjustment.
Without a doubt. Show them one thing, hit them with something else.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25.
Matchbox light.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And he's upended after a gain of 2 out to the 27.
Well, that's a good start to this drive on the defensive side of the ball.
Force the incompletion on first down. Then you're able to shut down the running play on second.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised now. A little bit of pressure going at the quarterback in an expected passing situation.
Hey, Zoo.
Looking to throw it. Minshew. Able to haul it in is Kittle. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. Call that a very strong gain of 24.
That's good for a Jacksonville 1st and 10 at the 49-yard line.
Got it.
41 Mike.
I want that. Give me that ball, defense. Give me that ball. Give me that ball, defense.
Switch.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And past the 35, he'll be dropped a yard or 2 shy of the 30. A Jacksonville first down on a pickup of 17.
Now, this is an example of breaking down a defense because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10.
I got it. Hey, alert.
General West. Get it.
They'll keep it on the ground. Phillips. And this time they're able to bottle him up as they'll stop him at the line of scrimmage. The tackle that time by Zach Cunningham.
As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10.
Watch the curl. Check.
Hey, Haywood. Let's go. Beat them.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And they'll get this one down to about the 20-yard line. 11 yards there for Jacksonville and a first down as well.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them.
Ready.
On first down, it's Phillips. Trying to run inside, but nothing there. Tackle made by Whitney Merciless. Now keep in mind, if you're thinking of staying on the ground, this is a top 5 rush defense.
Yeah, but I don't think you shy away totally with the run. At least show them the hint of a run before you decide to throw the football.
Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again, 2nd and 10.
You can't block me. You can't block me.
5.
Check 55 to Mike. Check 55 to Mike. Let's go, baby.
Throwing on 2nd down now, Minshew. This is caught. First target, first catch, and a first down. That's the number 2 receiver in the NFL in terms of yardage. And tell you what, a few more plays like that, he won't be number 2 for long.
Well, that's what often happens when you have competitors running around the field. These guys know where they stand in relationship to yardage, totals, numbers, the whole deal. And let's face it, all of them, they all want to be number 1.
Topper. Now.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he'll take this into the end zone. Touchdown, Jacksonville. A great effort there with touchdown number 12 on the year. And the Jaguars are able to widen their lead. Lambo to add on the extra point. And this is no good. It's a missed extra point. Boy, in a tight game, how important might that turn out to be here as the second half rolls along?
Josh Lambo to kick off for Jacksonville.
So with the missed PAT in his rearview mirror, he goes back out to kick this one off. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken.
The Texans take over 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. And right now these guys, they're shuffling a little bit, maybe doubting because 3 straight drives have ended with them punting the football away.
Yeah, so you start pointing fingers at each other a little bit, asking a lot of questions. What are you seeing? What are you getting? Maybe trying to narrow down your playbook a little bit and maybe get simpler rather than more complex in order to try and fashion together a drive.
A 3-yard loss to start the drive. They'll look to make that up and then some on 2nd and 13. Here's Watson. From the gun, he'll throw. And this is incomplete. Will Fuller was the intended target, but now it'll be 3rd down. Throwing the football, he's not as sharp as he was last week when he was over 70%. Right now, he's under 50%.
Well, that comes from extra game film, extra time. You know those guys watched him all week, saw how precise he was, and constructed a defense to try and chip away at that, and thus far they've been successful.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. To throw is Watson. Going deep for Hopkins. And got his man complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. That one goes for 30 yards.
Texans.
Set 19. Check 53. You must be dreaming.
Barber on 1st and 10. And they'll get this just to the 47. 1-yard gain.
You got it.
Nice job by that defensive front there to hold him to a short gain on 1st down. Well played, I must say.
Yeah, only getting 1 yard. There was no room to run. Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run.
Ready?
Going to run the sweep here. This is Hopkins. And they'll get this just to the 47. 1-yard gain.
Well, not a big gain with that play, but what they're doing is they're spreading the defense out, probing a little bit, and what they're hoping probably is that later in the game, they can create a matchup that they can exploit for big yardage later.
They'll need to get this to the 38. That's where the first down marker is here on third. Watson. Looking for Stills here, and it's intercepted. Shaquille Griffin with a pick. And his crew will take over with a football at the 35-yard line. Thought he had the pick. Flag comes in for PI, so cancel it out.
Interference. Oh, a killer for them. Thought they had a nice play. Instead, they'll be marching off yardage against them.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30. They'll run it with Johnson. A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3.
He'd had a ton of success here so far, but you get the feeling that he might be on the verge of popping one.
Yeah, even on that one, there was a little bit of a hole, but it closed there quickly at the end. So they'll come up after the gain of 7 on a 2nd and 3.
Here I come again. Here I come again. Here I come again. Check 15. Check 15.
They go to Johnson again. And he's going to be brought down by the face mask. Here come the flags. This is going to get him a first down. Officials so cognizant of that call nowadays, but that would look pretty easy.
Yeah, you're right. They took out of their hands having to wonder whether it's a 5-yard or a 15-yard inadvertent or not. Now, it's a lot easier. You see it, you call it.
And now it's 1st and 10. A big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage.
Switch.
Following the penalty, it's Johnson. And a short pickup there down to about the 9. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
I have to think a major focus of the halftime meetings had to be figuring out how to create space for the running game to get operating.
Well, what you pointed out to me at half seems accurate. That line has struggled to sustain blocks.
Yeah, I would agree with that totally. They've got to focus on staying on their double teams at the first level, make sure that block's secured before they slide off and try and chip someone at the second level.
On 2nd and 9, Watson. And he's taken to the ground, but he was pulled down by the face mask. Here come the flags. And I believe this is going to be a first down.
Good job, fellas.
And now it's 1st and 10. A big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage. They give to Johnson going right. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down.
Well, they're hoping that the second half is better for him than the first half. They've got to find a way to get him going. He's a big part of their offense.
The first down run got 5. Here's 2nd and 5. On 2nd down, Barber. And he'll take this one in for a Texans touchdown. Peyton Barber, his 5th touchdown now on the year, as they are an extra point away now from tying this football game. On for the PAT, Kaimi Fairbairn. It's right through, and we are now tied at 13. And they will not have time to get another play in here as time has run out on this third quarter. This is the National Football League on EA Sports. All square now at 13 all as he sends this one away. This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll be taken down just past the 20 at about the 21-yard line.
At their own 21-yard line.
Ready.
Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive.
Hey, we got to get to the ball, team. We got to get to the ball. Let's keep X3, 218, chopper. Check 99.
Throwing on first down is Minshew. And an alley to run. He'll get 8 on the scramble there. It'll be second and a couple.
Partner, he was going through his progressions. Not there, not there. After about the third one, he decided he better pull it down and run for it. And he slides down and avoids the hit for good measure.
Watch it, pick me up. Here we go. Let's go.
Well, they'll run it here on the jet sweep, and that one covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line. That'll set him back with a loss of 3 on the play. And just like that, it's third down.
Ready to break.
55. Check 55. Mike. Watch the run. Watch the run. Watch the run.
Hey, Delta.
55. Mike 55. Hey, eat. Oh, here we go. Oh, Mike 55. Mike.
Right up.
Here's Minshew. Completes it to the tight end, Kittle. And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. A 14-yard first down pickup for the Jaguars.
One of the advantages of zone defense, as I remember it, is being able to see the play develop in front of you. One of the disadvantages, when they find those levels where they can hit you with it. Sometimes behind the corner and in front of the safety, it makes it tough to defend.
Some good games going on in the early window. This might be the best of the bunch.
Recon, 132 fighter. Hey, seam 6. 5.
Now Minshew on first and 10. Open man is Kendrick Bourne. 20, 10, touchdown, Jaguars. Kendrick Bourne, his first touchdown on the year. And they are able to break the tie and move out in front here in this fourth quarter. Well, that's a heck of a response to regain the lead after we had seen the touchdown to tie the game.
I would say what we just saw there was a great amount of poise, because typically when teams tie the game up, it's a little bit of a, how would you say, you kind of take a step back and have to get yourself regrouped. They regrouped in a hurry, didn't they? They attacked back after they'd been tied.
And in a big way, that was a statement-long touchdown. And Lambeau now, after the touchdown, he'll kick this one away.
The Texans take over first and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
Looking for more there on first down, but this throw downfield incomplete. An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Now Watson throwing again. And the catch made by Johnson. And he's going to be out of bounds right at midfield. A first down there on a pickup of 25. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me. And I'm going to keep firing.
The drive continues as they search for a tying touchdown. Here's 1st and 10. Here's Watson. Steps away to his left. He's going to take off with it. He'll get 5 out of the scramble. It's 2nd down.
Now, how about that play? He took a possible negative and turned it into positive yardage and slid down to avoid taking a big shot. Excellent job getting down and avoiding the big hit.
Hey, 24.
Defense, let's go.
To throw again on 2nd down. Watson. And boy, that one drops incomplete, but if he was hit a fraction sooner, it may have been a fumble.
Well, that plays a statistic that's going to go on the defensive team stat sheet. Won't necessarily reflect in ours, right, the overall game sheet. But you and I know that they keep count on pressures, hits on quarterbacks, all those things, hoping to increase that throughout the game. And here we are in the 4th quarter, and they got a big one.
And such a close game, a very big one. The Texans on 3rd down. They've converted just 2 for 6 thus far. This will be 3rd and 5. Now it's Watson. Dancing to his left. He may try and run for this. And he's going to have another first down as the tackle's made at the Jaguars' 30.
All right, partner, I'm a defender, but I've got to express my admiration there. Moving around, making it happen, and instead of worrying about protecting himself, he goes and gets the first down. I've got to give it to him on that one.
Normally, you don't want your guy taking shots, your quarterback, but it's winning time here in the 4th quarter. If he needs to make those plays with the legs, go ahead, right?
Yeah, no doubt about it. At this stage of the game, all protections, they're off.
Watson's throw pulled in by Hopkins. A fresh set of downs on a gain of 13 there for the Texans.
A gain of 13 yards. First down, Texans.
Watson now 6 for 6 since coming back out of the locker room. It's 1st and 10. From the red zone now, Watson. Now he's flushed out left. And he just throws this one away. Smart decision here this close to the end zone, and it brings up 2nd down.
Yeah, that one sailed on him. You've got to make sure you give your receiver a chance to come down inbounds because they are very gifted. They'll make the circus catches, but if they make them out of bounds, that does you no good.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Watson now to throw again. And that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on 3rd down.
Once you get into the red zone and the safeties have less ground to cover, you better be quick with your delivery. Not much space to get a ball in there.
Yeah, when that field shrinks for those safeties, it's almost like there's a couple extra defenders out there, right?
It certainly is. They end up taking up extra space just because there's not enough space for receivers to run through.
Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
What you got, Abby? Give me something. Give me something. Here we go. Slam, slam, slam. 44 to Mike. 44 to Mike. Check, check. Wrap it, wrap it.
And the blitz does come. Oh, he can't hang on to it. Almost intercepted. They would have loved the first pick of the game there, but at least it does get him to 4th down. So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. This just a 35-yard attempt from the left hash. The kick by Fairbairn is good. And the drive will wind up yielding 3. So an interesting call there to take the 3. I mean, I guess they're thinking that their hands were tied, but, you know, 4th quarter, that field goal might not help them that much in the end.
Yeah, eventually they're going to need the touchdown. The thinking must have been they didn't feel confident about picking it up there, hoping maybe on defense they can get better field position, get a turnover, get a better play, and then they'll have a chance to attack the end zone.
Fairbairn now following the made field goal. He'll send this one away. This fielded at the 2. Not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line.
At their own 25-yard line.
Let's go now.
The Jacksonville offense set to begin their next drive. They're holding on right now to that slim advantage in a one-score game, and you hear a lot about 2-minute offense and 4-minute offense. Obviously, the 4-minute offense applies here. How do they run that effectively?
Yeah, really what the 4-minute offense is you're just trying to grind the clock. So you want consistent gains, steady gains. Doesn't have to be big plays, but it has to be plays that gets first downs and keeps the ball away from your opponent.
But certainly throwing the ball is in the mix here.
It certainly is. Just make sure that you're careful with it. And again, get those first downs, keep possession of the football.
Clock continuing to run. They'll probably wind this all the way before snapping it on 2nd down. They'll keep it on the ground. Phillips. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. The Jags picking up the first down there, a gain of 12. Well, that looked like an example of what you said back in the first half. A running back of his size can really wear down a defense. I think he's starting to do that.
I think you're exactly right. And know what else he's doing? He's inspiring the rest of his team because they see this starting to happen as well. So that means they're going to redouble their efforts to help him out. Extra blocking, getting downfield, helping him out.
Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on first down. They'll run on first down. It's Phillips. He'll have another first down and more. 34 yards there and a first down.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
The Jaguars going to go ahead and use their first timeout. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. So a big play as it gets them all the way down to the 20 now for 1st and 10. And he'll give it here to his running back. And he'll take this inside the 20 and down to the 18. And now we'll get a timeout. Looks like we've got a Jaguar in some discomfort down there on the field. While the trainers take a look, we'll step aside. The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. A first carry for Samaje Perine. Oh, no, he lost the football. And the Texans scoop it. Look at the big man rumble. He's at the 30, the 20, 10. And he fights his way into the end zone for a Texans touchdown. So a big turn of events there. This defense makes the play. They return it for the score, and now they have the lead.
So much for ball security for the offense. Playing with a lead in the second half, they give the ball up, and all of a sudden they're behind.
Big-time fumble. They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. Fourth quarter, down to the final 2 minutes, and we've got a one-score game. So it's Jaguar football here as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Now the Jags will use the second of their timeouts. That'll leave them with just one remaining in this fourth quarter of play. Possibly a turning point. Big play coming. This is 3rd and long. Now a carry for Pirine. And they're going to get him down well short of the first as he can only get this to about the 19. And now right out of the 2-minute break, we'll get a timeout used defensively with 1:56 to go. So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. It'll be from the right hash, and it'll be a 36-yarder. And Lambeau will put this one through, and that'll make this a 7-point game. But from a defensive perspective, though, I think maybe they're saying, hey, we did what we needed to do, kept this a one-score game. Yeah, without a doubt, because they were able to bleed some time off the clock, right? Put themselves in a good position, but it's not out of reach yet, okay? Being able to hold them to a field goal means that they do have a chance to come back and win this game.
First and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. And after the field goal last time, we'll see what they can get here. At least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I never met an offensive coach that didn't want to drive to end with a kick. Most of them wanted to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
Yeah, but you met fan bases that wanted that, that weren't happy with that field goal.
I haven't met a fan base yet that wants to drive to end with a kick, other than the extra point. That's it.
The last run got 9. That leaves him with 2nd and a yard. Watson now to throw. This goes to Barber, the running back. A gain of 5, good enough for the first down. That's what they need right now. Get the first down, get out of bounds, stop the clock.
Just playing smart football, understanding the situation, making the plays necessary, and making sure that clock stops at every opportunity.
The drive continues as they search for a tying touchdown. Here's 1st and 10. Back to throw. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's 2nd down. I guess you can't be afraid to take those chances late in the game. He tried to fit that one in there. Nice job, though, defensively.
But to your point, it was a nice job of knocking the ball away. But you're also right. You can't be afraid to take those chances. That means your guys going downfield to catch the ball, they've got to elevate their game and come down with these in order to keep your offense moving.
So 2nd down and 10. Once again, they'll go from the 40. He's back to throw. Forced it, and he can't get a throw away. He's taken down. Miles Jack in there to take him down, and the clock will roll.
This has been a tough one for this offensive line. It appears almost like they've been on roller skates this entire game, the way they've been pushed around. 6 sacks given up in this one.
Following the sack, it's now 3rd and long for Watson and the Texans.
Tighten up, tighten up. Shoot.
24.
Motion. He's coming.
31.
He's coming, double up.
Now Watson. And that will be incomplete. 2 huge plays there down the stretch. The sack on 2nd down. Now they force the incompletion. That's going to lead to a do-or-die 4th down.
And they look like they've got the confidence right now that no matter what gets thrown against them, whatever play gets run, they have the ability to shut it down. They are just brimming with it right now.
Down 7, and they've got to go for it here on 4th down.
Bring it.
They will indeed snap it to Watson. And, a crusher there as it's intercepted. Picked off by Jalen Mills. There he goes left side. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown.
It's my boy.
That's about as tough as they come. You're driving to try to put the ball in the end zone and tie the game, and that happens.
It's exciting for us, wasn't it? Because we were thinking, hey, we might be headed towards overtime. Instead, it looks like this one may very well be done. And guess what? If you're a fantasy owner and you have that
under pressure, and the Texans able to get in there for the sack.
I know they didn't tack on the 2 points, but I liked their attempt. After the interception return for a touchdown, I was thinking to myself, forget kicking it, go for 2, and they did.
Oh, yeah, and everybody's scrambling. Maybe you catch the defense on their heels. They weren't ready to be out there.
Yeah, it's almost like a sudden change, right? There's a turnover, you take it away, they stuck it in the end zone, keep the momentum going. Give credit to the defensive guys for rallying and stopping that 2-point attempt.
The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. They can't do much at this point, partner. This one is going to go down in the loss column.
You don't make up for what has happened during the game in this sequence here. Maybe you hand it off and let someone run the ball if you so choose. But otherwise, just kneel down, call it a day, and try and prepare going forward.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Watson off play action. That'll be incomplete with 9 seconds now showing on the clock. He was looking that time for Stills, and that'll make it 3rd down. Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. And with just inside of 10 seconds to go, they'll burn their final timeout. 9 seconds left. They had the incomplete pass on 2nd down. Now they need a big play here. 3rd and 10. From the gun, here's Watson. And this is intercepted, and that should do it. He's picked off at his own 46. And the return here will go to the 31-yard line. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. The defense can stop it twice more as they take a knee here. So this will be a win for Jacksonville. And they were buoyed, Charles, by a big second half that put this one on ice.
And I know a lot of people watching this one were thinking to themselves, I bet halftime was really interesting. Probably took the paint off the walls with some of the words that were said. But I get the sense that it was much more of the adjustments they made. They came in with a game plan that we saw that didn't work in the first half. They made the adjustments necessary, went away from that, and then they got it together, got a spark, and then took off. It's really nice to watch in the second half.
So for the Jags, they continue to make their case for the playoffs as they move to 9-3, and they'll get to stay home again next week. Meanwhile, for Houston, it's a loss that could wind up costing them a first-round bye as they dip to 9-3. And they'll look to get back on track next week as they travel to Denver to take on the Broncos. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Alongside Charles Davis, we thank our entire crew. I'm Brandon Gaudin. This is the NFL on EA Sports.